Hello, hello, hello. Let food be your medicine and your medicine be food. That was said by some philosopher years ago, probably came from Egypt, but we won't go into that one. Today I'm talking about food as empaths, and are we putting enough thought and energy into the food that we put into our system? We are cognizant of our environment as empaths. We really know that we need to watch the people that we are around. We need to watch the fact that we could be in a crowd and the crowd could be drawing energy from us. So that is something that we know. We know about energy vampires. We know about all the different things and people that can affect us one way or another. But I was thinking the other day, I did a short about this whole food subject. I was thinking about the fact that we don't put enough energy into thinking about what goes into our food, thinking about what goes into our temple to nourish us. And it started from something that happened when I came back to the house I was staying at, and I will expound on all of that as I go on with this video. So like I said, we're cognizant of the crowds, we're cognizant of energy vampires, we're cognizant of narcissists and how they affect us. So we now need to start looking at foods and how they also affect us. I've said in other videos that years ago I had a small bowel obstruction surgery, and because of that surgery, there are certain foods that I cannot tolerate in large amounts. I can't do very much sugar. I can also not do very much milk, and I cannot go overboard on simple bread. So like white bread and donuts and all of those things, it's a no-no for me because the next day the bathroom and myself will be best friends. But I'm also wondering if that wasn't the Most High's way of saying, listen, you're an empath. You're not supposed to be eating that kind of crap anyhow. I digress. I don't eat a lot of processed sugars and things like that. Everything is energy. We know that everything is energy. And if everything is energy, then energy is always in motion. So emotion is also around our food. How many times have you been served by a cranky waiter or waitress? And I'm almost certain that you didn't enjoy that meal. I have been in establishments that are fancy schmancy, and the atmosphere was so that even though the food looked pretty, it wasn't appealing. And I have been in greasy spoons over the years that, especially from my childhood and things like that, that I will go back to in a heartbeat because the place is impeccably clean. The person serving the food was like amazing. So I would go back there in a heartbeat. To this day, when I was younger, I had a friend whose father had a sub shop, and to this day, I have yet to find a sub made as well as if my friend made this sub. Again, it could be because she knew me and she put extra stuff on there, but even if her mother or father were making the sub, I always had a good sub from there. So I would go back, right? I would go back. Recipes. Let's think about recipes. People could hand down recipes. This is my grandma's recipe and ting ting ting. And grandma made it so well, and I'm trying to make it and I can't make it the way grandma made it. Grandma didn't try to make it to copy grandma. Grandma made it because she wanted to make something for the people that she loved. So now you are trying to copy grandma, but grandma was just grandma. So you now have to be a person who's loving to make that thing for your family. You can't be a person trying to imitate grandma. And I've had people who will say to me, "Can you give me the recipe for such and such?" And I do. I give them the recipe, and they're just like, "I made it, it just didn't turn out quite like yours." And I've had people who haven't asked me for recipes who've tried to imitate things that I've done, and it still doesn't turn out like mine because I don't make it to try and compete with anybody. I make it so that I am putting the love in it for people who I want to see enjoy it. I'm not doing it to try and be like anybody else. The food is important for us as empaths. Like I said, because we're energetic beings, we pick up on energy. So, like I was saying, the whole thing started because I came back to the house and food was being served. It is windy here in the Chosen. Food was being served and the news was on. They had the radio playing. Oh, this is happening in the T dot, and this is happening, and there's a traffic jam over here, and there's congestion over here. Oh, this person, there's a murder over here. And you're trying to eat food. As they would say in East Africa, hapana. No way. Not on my watch. So I went upstairs and I waited until the coast was clear. I came down, prepared some food, and went back up into my area and enjoyed my food in peace. So when you're eating, make sure that it's peaceful. Make sure that the food that you're about to eat is enjoyable. I'm not talking about putting junk into your system. That'll come back and bite you. As an empath, it'll come back and bite you in some way or form because we feel everything. When you're eating your food, bless it. Thank whoever. I thank the Most High for my food. As I'm eating it, I'm just like, oh, thank you. I call him Yah. Thank you, Yah, for this food. Oh my goodness, it's so yummy. And food becomes delightful, delicious, because you are now coming from a grateful place. Be very cognizant of your food. Be very aware of what you're putting into your system. Be very aware of the people around you. Be very aware of the atmosphere as you're eating. This is something that a lot of people don't talk about. And I'm going to start sharing some of the recipes that I now use because I am no longer eating a lot of sugar, because I'm no longer putting a lot of extra garbage into my system. I do occasionally add some chips last night, but I'm I'm very, very cognizant of how many. So I will I will do that in the next coming weeks or months. And that's my word for today. Watch what you eat and watch the environment that you're in when you're eating. Until next time, this is Sambuca saying sprinkle your deliciousness throughout your day and be infectious to all who come your way.